Hi there, Frank here for premium members for the trading day of February the 11th, 2026, a Wednesday. So starting with the indexes here, as expected, we are still working on a breakout. There's news at 8:30, which could be a catalyst, likely to be a catalyst tomorrow, which means that could be the trigger or the excuse for these markets to move to the upside. Look at this. And if we look at the other ones, they're in various stages of the same move. Here we go, the NQ after what seems to be a failure test here. We're testing for the highs. We're thinking in 1Rs, probably a 1R like this. Looks good for me for tomorrow. And the YM, as you know, has run ahead a little bit, which is okay because that just confirms our ideas for the other three. And the RTY actually looks just as good as it did yesterday. Not much movement, but we have been triggered into this trade, and we're aiming for a 1R. For new users, 1R basically just means that our distance from the entry to the target is the same on the other side from the entry to the stop. We always start by defining our stop, our risk, and then we project the same distance on the other side. We call this 1R. You can Google the literature about all this. And let's see. Then let's continue with the currencies. Well, on all of them, same thing. Look at these beautiful moves. We said that I didn't really like these moves because of the exhaustion, but it is what it is. If it triggers, then I'm very interested in taking this long, for example, on the 6E, but all the others are moving in the same direction. Look at this beautiful move on the 6A, and I'm not going to click on all of them. You'll see the same moves in various stages of development, and this is actually the same trade, basically, against the USD. And just one note on the Japanese yen. This seems to be a major reversal. This short trigger here, this trade, we've been stopped out from this, which we don't mind. I think this is a major reversal here, and the 6J has a long way to go back to where it came from. Look at that. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, same thing. Let's move on to commodities. CL, we're expecting a 1R, well, at least just a good trade first on the CL, and we're aiming 68, and we're interested in keeping a runner to 72. Where exactly you want to get triggered into this trade, probably something like this. Looks beautiful. And look at the 4-hour chart, even the 15-minute after hours, but the 4-hour chart is already moving. Okay, and also HO, heating oil, which is, as we know, correlates with the CL, is also giving us a beautiful little wedge here. Consolidation area, we expect this to break out to the upside as well. Look at the 4-hour chart. You can ignore this short. This is not what we're going to do here. Okay, on to GCSI. Not much to do. I think these markets are moving back up. Look at this strong momentum indicated by our blue cloud here. And the SI. Now, if you're aggressive, you can try maybe small size. A trade, for example, this potential measured move on the SI now. But since this is just not a structure that we're interested in trading, I'm just going to leave it alone for now. Okay, and then what else? Then we have perhaps palladium, which has room to go to the upside, as you know. That could work for a long here. Sideways market, but most likely we're going to visit the 2100 area next, and the 4-hour chart seems to be waking up already. And just remember, we have a long way to go back to 3200 where we came from. All right, and then let's move on to, well, let's look at ZB treasuries. We mentioned treasuries a couple of days ago. They're beautifully moving to the upside. Here we go. The weekly hasn't gone yet, so you can still catch this train on probably the weekly time frame back to 121 or so, the previous major pivot, if you're interested. And just one more, we hit our 1R on the ZL. Look at this. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a 1 hour already. Tighten your stop and then be stopped out if we have to. Okay, there's also a long in progress probably on wheat. Long setup here on the daily time frame, and the 4-hour chart nicely cooperates with this bottom tail here. I already see it with my eyes that this is the first pullback, but if you see the trend indicator, you see, hasn't turned blue yet. Manually, of course, I'm interested in taking this long trade, but algorithmic trading insists on rules. That's the beauty of algorithmic trading. And if it moves, don't worry, we're going to get pullback number 2, pullback number 3, all the way up to 630. So there will be things to do here for us on ZW, and the setup column will light up, no doubt, when the conditions have been met. We could go on, but I think I'll stop here. That's enough for a Wednesday. Let's keep focused on these markets. Pick the one you want to be involved with, and then we'll be back soon. Until then, mindful trading.